Alright, what up? It's Shallow here, and I'm sorry if I sound sick. I am not. I'm just in a lot of pain. I have a lot of back pain issues, so yeah, I'm taking medication, and I probably sound a little bit sluggish more than I usually do, so yeah. So today we'll talk about how Ridley might try to get revenge against Lucy Chen and the whole LAPD. And yeah, we'll just explore a few possibilities and go from there. And unlike the last video where most of the material was scripted, this time this is completely unscripted, so there are spoilers ahead for season 10 and above, so let's get into it. Now, one way that I could see Seth getting his revenge is with Oscar. These two do a tag team or like a team up, and well, the most common thing that they have is their hatred for the LAPD. The fact remains, though, is that, of course, these guys are going to have beef with the LAPD just like as much as anyone else for getting like a traffic ticket. So it makes, it's a uniting factor, but it's not something that really makes all the more sense. And while I can maybe see Seth and Oscar team up for the purpose of just solely revenge, I don't know. It's a little, it's a little too much out of reach. So there's that. And although I can see Seth and Oscar team up, right, at the end of the day, going for individual targets like Chen or Lopez or Wesley, these two individuals specifically doesn't make sense. So they would go for the primary, which would be Nolan, but at the same time, why would Seth even go after Nolan? Nolan never really did anything wrong to Seth to begin with. As much as I like this, I don't think this will happen. So now my second theory is that Seth, Oscar, and Elijah team up together to take down the LAPD. Now, I don't know how the show would do this, but say, for instance, Seth and Oscar were smart and they got undercover uniforms, got Elijah out of prison and all that with his gang members too. And so now these three have to come up with a brilliant plan to essentially get back at the people that they resent the most in the LAPD. And I don't know how that would turn out, but one could imagine. So we'll see, hopefully, in the future. So obviously we know that Seth would go after Chen because how he felt after episode 10, but also with Oscar and Stone, they would go primarily for Lopez, Wesley, and Nolan. Those are the three major targets that I see these two going for. While Seth, I don't really see him going after really any of the other three, like Lopez, Nolan, Wesley, hell, even Harper or Gray for that matter. Maybe Gray a little bit afterwards, but right now, no. Now, my third theory is Seth and Monica doing a team up, but this one I'm going to hold off on because as much as I would like to entertain the thought, I don't think it will happen for this reason alone. Monica just wants revenge against the LAPD and nothing more, while Seth wants revenge against Chen and the LAPD, and though I can maybe see like a small connection, just story-wise, this makes no sense to me. Now, maybe later down the road I could be wrong, but I highly doubt this is plausible. Now, we know that Seth is hell-bent on getting revenge back on Chen as well as the LAPD, and what way to strike at Chen more than essentially either killing Tamara or harming her in a bad way that, Chen just kind of like freaks out completely. Plus, we really know how much Chen cares for Tamara. I mean, she literally gave her a car, place to live, helped her out with school, all that stuff. She cares about Tamara. And the fact is that Tamara has left for college, so she doesn't keep up with Chen, so she doesn't know what's happening with Seth between the two, so Seth can use that leverage with Tamara against Chen and either kill Tamara or really cripple her in a bad way, and that will hurt Chen the most because she cares for Tamara. I'm really content with this theory because what a twist this would be, and what a shocker it would be at the season finale if we saw Tamara die and Chen felt responsible. Now, the fifth theory in this one is a Seth and Doug Stanton team up, which as much as I would like, I really don't think this would happen. And plus, the fact is that Doug, kind of already gave up afterwards from season 3 because he got fired for being a racist cop and all that. So honestly, I don't really see Doug trying to get revenge anymore. He's done. He's called it quits. So yeah. And although Doug's character arc has ended in a weird way, I'd rather have that ending than it to continue on into like the seventh season. It would just really make no sense story-wise besides revenge. And for the last theory is Seth, Oscar, Elijah, and Doug teaming up. Now, how that would happen, I have no clue, but I'm writing an extended series on these theories, so stay tuned for that. But long story short, Seth doesn't like, Jen, Bradford, and the LAPD, so that makes sense. He might not even like Nolan. Oscar doesn't like the LAPD, nor Nolan or Lopez and Wesley. Same for Stone. He hates the LAPD, Nolan, Lopez, and definitely Wesley. And for Doug Stanton, he hates the LAPD and Bradford, So, yeah, I don't know how that one would work, but I would be sure that multiple characters would die in the end. And yeah, I mean, that's one way of getting revenge, but I don't think this would, I have no hope of this one happening. But those are my 6 theories on how Seth could get his revenge back. I think theory 4 is the most plausible. Hoping for theory 6 to come true, but theory 4 for sure. Anyways, I'm Shallow, and I'll see y'all later.